You ready to roll? Yeah. The doors to Maxwell's house are officially open. Is that right, guys? Yeah. Round of applause for everybody in the room, please. Just so that way I don't feel like I'm the only one here. Appreciate you guys tapping into another episode of the pod. It's Maxwell's house, powered by Audio Technica, and we got Culture Wars in the house. Another round of applause for our guys, man.
Hey.
Boo. Is it weird clapping for yourselves?
It's a little.
But I guess 2/5 of the squad here. Shout out to the other gentlemen who are either sleeping or eating a full hearty breakfast at this point in time.
I'll go with sleep.
Gone but not forgotten.
No, never that.
No,
No.
just kidding.
But I mean, I want to start off with how does a group of guys who have been friends and there's a situation where there was a few internships and childhood homies turn out to be on this journey of creating music and following each other's hearts, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
How does it happen? Like what went down in Texas to bring you guys all together?
Yeah, it's like a over the course of years, really. Dave and I met in Austin through mutual friends. I mean, was it 12 years ago or something? And,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He knew somebody who knew somebody who knew somebody, and we kind of just had like a jam room, and you kind of just people started filtering in and out, and you like somebody, and then they stay, and then you try to write songs, and then you swap somebody else out, and then you try to. It's just kind of like dating.
Yeah, a lot like dating.
A lot like dating. Where are those exes at? I guess this is the question. Do you still stay in touch with some of those guys, or
One of them ish.
Alex got him all blocked.
Yeah, no, I don't block any, but well, I do block some people, but not them. No, yeah, and then Dylan and I met through a childhood friend of mine. Was it David or Aiden?
Yeah, David.
Yeah, but did he go to TCU with you, or he knew something?
A mutual friend was really close with a friend of mine who I played in a band with in Fort Worth at the time. I was in college, and so they played.
Did I hear
t-ball.
TCU? Horned Frogs?
I went to TCU.
Yeah. Did you still do the? Is that how it goes?
Right there.
Yeah, I knew it sounded like you had carpal tunnel.
It's a weird.
went
It's
to
not the
TCU.
best hand sign in the world, but
you know what I mean?
but
Yeah.
go Frogs. Yeah.
Dude, so when you find that synergy, it was young. You guys were homies since back in the day, but when you find that collection of brothers and it just feels right and it clicks, going through all the dating process, how dope is it to know that you got the team together, the band of brothers, that this is going to be a journey? How does that feel when you found your tribe?
I mean, I describe it as like having, now 6 wives.
Okay.
Because my wife and then the other, and then 4, 5. There we go.
Yeah.
But it's like having a bunch of wives. You have you're very happy you found them, but it's a relationship.
For sure.
You have to keep working through it and figuring things out. There's always something new, but that's kind of relationships with anybody.
Yeah.
So
Once we got to this iteration with the current 5, I think all of us knew, especially me, David, and Alex. David's the drummer. We've been at it. I joined a little bit after them, but we've been at it the longest. And once Caleb and Josh came in, and they came in because we had a tour with ZZ Top 2 years ago, which is a very wild fit, but great experience.
Yep.
And playing those shows and getting ready for those shows, I think we were like, all right, this is finally what we've been searching for a while.
Us.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
us. So,
This is us.
yeah.
And I want to talk about the longevity, because a lot of folks think when they discover you all, or they maybe discover another band, they don't realize the time spent, the decade that it takes to be an overnight success, as a lot of people kind of say. To put in that work and to continue to build the fan base, to continue to impress, to continue to get out to countries and continents where English isn't even the first language at times, dude. How does that feel for you all as artists to know this is a grind, and we're very much on it, and we love that we are able to put in and really soak our roots into who we are, and now people are really connecting.
Yeah, I mean, all that, the success and the positivity for us is all pretty new. In the last year, we went from opening for somebody in a 200 cap room to, I think, 3 weeks later playing in arenas and stadiums, opening for somebody else, to now selling out our own shows, and that was been the last couple of weeks that, but that's like a full year of us like going through this year of touring. So the real success is like just coming now. And I think even when we had like our first sold out our own show, Dave was like not everyone had gotten into the room yet, and he was like, I knew it. I knew this was bullshit. Like I was like, just wait. Like the ticket
coming.
says
They're
8:30. They'll
coming.
be here at 8:30. And then,
I think this is bullshit.
So,
Like,
yeah.
I knew they were lying. They were
I knew we
flipping
didn't
the
sell
numbers,
out.
dude, for sure.
It's not, I was like, ugh. But no, but it's we're still even kind of doubting it. I think we're starting to get into the okay, all right, this is working. All right,
Yeah.
But
It's all this. It's just so many years of work, and then finally something clicks, and you have the experience and the momentum to really like get you. And that's a great question to ask wearing the Doechii hoodie. Also, she for sure had
She
that
for sure,
trajectory,
she was in
yeah.
the swamp forever,
Yeah,
dog.
forever,
Like,
yeah.
it's like those situations where, I'm rocking the hoodie. Well, first off, because it's kind of chilly. It's starting to become fall here in New York City. So first off, that went to the show, but had seen her perform at Lala. And when I was just there this past summer, and I'm watching like this person who was creating, covers in the bedroom and doing the small venues, and then looking back at Lollapalooza and seeing that there are like 60, 70,000 people. And then to go to a sold out show here at MSG was just like, yo, that persistence and that grind is something that whenever I get the chance to chat with other artists, especially new artists, not to say that about y'all, but other artists that are like, man, wanting to give up, wanting to stop, wanting to think like, oh, because they compare themselves to whatever they see on TikTok, social media that they think. It was like the moment that you stop is the minute that, what I'm saying, Doechii's going to swoop through in her Nissan Altima.
That's right.
And you're going to be fucking pissed at yourself. So I want to circle back to Texas roots, dude. How does that influence the music that you guys are creating? Or does it?
Indirectly, I think, like I grew up in Houston and went to the rodeo all the time.
Yeah.
And I don't listen to country music unless like kind of randomly, but it does. Then people go, this kind of sounds like a country song. I'm like, oh, weird.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just depends, it just seeps in, I think, unintentionally.
Did I read
It's
at some
baked
point in time that it was like a couple of CDs that you listened to as a kid? It was like a Beatles, and Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah, that's Alex.
My dad was a psycho. No, I'm kidding. I love him. No, we only had 2 CDs in the car. It was the only 2 CDs allowed in the car. It was Beatles' #1 hits and Jimi Hendrix Are You Experienced. It was all we listened to.
Yeah.
For however long I was a child.
You see the gloss
Oh,
over
it's
it?
just-
Yeah.
Damn.
And then and then when I got my first car, he gave me the CDs. I was like, cool. So I put them in the car.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank God there's a CD thing in there.
Yeah. For those, I don't know which camera to look. See, they're compact disc. They're like these things that, at times when we were kids, we would burn songs on them using Napster or LimeWire and give ourselves a virus into our computer. But
They might know the emoji. They might know the CD.
that's
emoji.
probably what it is.
Like,
Yeah, you know the emoji. Don't know what it does, but you know the emoji. They think it's a coaster at this point in time. So it does the Texas roots kind of maybe find their way into the music indirectly.
Yeah. I think just because it's baked in. I mean, like, similar boat. Growing up, my family was not listening to country, but
What was your family listening to?
my family was listening to like Destiny's Child, TLC, and Seal. That's
let's
what my
go.
parents listened to.
Yo,
Yeah.
what
which is crazy. Yeah,
eclectic
I know.
mashup.
Yeah, and like, I seriously in middle school listened to that song like every night before I went to sleep, which is a weird thing to do, but it's a very peaceful song.
Yeah,
Very
for
peaceful
sure.
song.
Dude. So yeah, I mean, does that type of pop R&B-ish kind of stuff? I mean, it does. I mean, you guys create songs with melodies, with some catchy hooks. I mean, do you, just like you said, indirectly find that just making its way into your music now?
I think we all have a little bit of a pop sensibility also.
Got
I
it.
think that for sure makes its way in the music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think also, I mean, coming up in Austin, there's such a move, or was, I don't know what it's like now, but towards like Americana, like that kind of Texas, everyone wants to be Stevie kind of thing. And I think we just rejected that so much that we kind of maybe weren't as conscious that we were still doing our own version of it,
Gotcha.
It's maybe the Texas, like, I don't have an accent kind of thing, you know?
But you don't though.
I worked very hard to not have it.
No, I don't hear an accent at all. Yo, one of the things too, I've never been, and I have had so many friends. I have so many friends. The music scene in Austin. What is it like? Has anybody else in the room? Have you been? Lisa Rose behind the camera. No. Yeah, Hunter hasn't been. Like, what's the music scene like in Austin? Just as someone who totally doesn't know. Probably gonna get roasted.
Yeah, I'll take this.
He'll
I'll
be
take
good
this
cop.
one.
I'll be bad cop.
Yeah. I'm the scenester of the group.
I'll bad cop after.
All right. I mean, I think it's changed a lot since the pandemic happened because, like many cities, a lot of the venues went out of business and like the music community kind of got kicked out of town. But I would say in the heyday of the scene there, it was a great place to cut your teeth as a band or as a musician because there are bands playing every single night at like 10 venues that are all walking distance from one another. And that's Monday through Sunday every night. And people are going out on a Tuesday night. They're staying out till 2 seeing music, all kinds of music, indie music, country music, whatever.
Shout out to Expendable Income, yo.
Yeah, I know, right?
Like, damn.
But it's a low ceiling. So because the music community is big and thriving there are these kind of like local accolades that people chase.
Okay.
And then they totally forget that they're a band, or like people just release music on the internet and people are from everywhere and you don't have to focus on your one city. So there are some really great bands that I think if they had a bigger, picture of what making it means, like they could have gone a lot further. So I think that's kind of the downside of the music industry in Austin is that there's kind of a low ceiling or people chase the wrong, avenues.
Well, the city in general just screwed up. I mean, they
wow.
They just,
now we're getting to the truth.
Now we're getting to the grit of it.
Yeah, live music capital of the world or whatever is a great banner at the airport, but it's not. It's a banner that the city hall put there. It's not a real thing, and I think they decided to favor corporations over what was going on. And what ended up happening is these venues lost their rent because they jacked it up, and then they built hotels on top of where the venues used to be. I mean, every venue that we used to play, I think, is Cheer Up's gone, right?
No, Cheer Ups is still there.
It's back. They were about to be gone, but I think that's maybe the only one that's even still around that I played at.
Yeah.
Other than Stubbs, but now I think someone else bought it. Anyway, I remember, a while ago they put like a new hotel next to Cheer Ups or whatever, and the hotel then said, well, you guys have to have a noise curfew because you can't play music after 10 o'clock. We have hotel guests. Right. And I go, dude, you built the hotel here because the venues, bro. Like what? And it's that kind of nonsense. And, the city itself priced itself out of artists being able to live and work and, be able to pay rent. And so they kind of ate themselves a little bit. And so it's really good for like Google now, but it's not really good for anything else.
That leads me to the importance of the fans who have been there with you guys since day one, and creating that community of folks who are, willing to withstand all the corporate bullshit, willing to pay the dollars that the expendable income that they, and we're all strapped these days. What does it mean to y'all to get out there onto the stages and to see these folks, that maybe have been from venue to venue who, we're still knocking at the venue doors or urging, the cities to change back or get back to that true essence of what they were to be there in the crowd to rock with you guys. Not only here in the States, but we'll get into all over the world that you guys have been. What's that mean as artists to look out there and see those folks?
Man, it means a lot. I mean, it's literally the dream, you know? It's like any kid who starts playing music, that's I think most kids like imagine themselves on a stage one day performing that music in front of people. So no matter what size of the venue, like it actually, to me, it kind of means more in the smaller venues because it's more personal and you can see everybody's face in the room and it's like, wow. And even these last 2 shows we played, I saw some people wearing shirts that we haven't sold since like 2018.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, these people have been around for a minute. So that was really cool to see.
No, they were probably there to grab it in 2018. You know what I mean?
I was like, I don't even remember that shirt. That's crazy.
Damn.
So it's super rewarding.
Yeah, and you mentioned it briefly, and let's dive into the fact that these shows are selling out. That you've been everywhere here throughout the country, but overseas, you're talking London tour date, you're talking Singapore, God, when you're out there and music is just crossing literal borders and is transcending language.
Mm-hmm.
God, like, what's that energy like from the stage when you look out there?
Well, especially in Asia, I think that's Asia and Mexico are two places where it's just another level.
Yeah.
And I mean, when we went the first time, I think the first show was Singapore, and we had no idea what we were walking into.
Yeah.
And they like cut the lights, and we were opening for Laney, and they cut the lights, and all of a sudden just everyone's got a little tight. You know?
Everyone's
like,
phones out. Like, we're the opener, so we're expecting people to be like, all
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
The exact opposite.
Yeah, but they like do their homework, or at least our experience in Asia was that the fans there did their homework and like showed up to those shows, and a lot of people knew the words to our songs too. So it's like, you know, especially as an American band traveling there, I think, you know, there are not a lot of American bands that do that. So, you know, it's kind
and
of
shout
a
out
novel
Laney,
thing.
dude. Those two,
Oh my God,
guys,
yeah.
man, they just put out a brand new album as well, man, and Soft. God, except for like, he's such an accident prone.
Oh, I know. When he
like,
broke his arm or something?
Yeah, I'm like, stay boy in a bubble. Like, dog, you know what I'm saying?
right,
Like, chill out for a little bit.
yeah.
But to be support for bands like Lady, let's go ahead and name drop, you know, Maroon 5, you know, to walk the catwalk and to be in these, you know, these arenas where maybe it's a little bit nerve-wracking as a support for an artist like that, and you're wondering, are these fans here for us? Or are they here for the headliner? When you got them in the palm of your hand, do you look at each other and like, yeah, we're about to, you know, your chest puff up a little bit more, or is it just a sense of surprise? Like, damn, this is happening.
Oh, I mean, certainly surprise. I just refer to it always as like hand-to-hand combat. Like you're especially in these support things, you're trying to win people over little by little, and you kind of have to just go in understanding that you're working towards something, you know, even each show, each song, you know. So I just kind of go in with a very much a like kind of like, all right, let's go kind of mentality.
For sure.
And
not to cut you off, but what do you take away from being out there with some of these, you know, these veterans? I mean, you guys are veterans also, but what do you take away from Adam Levine? Like, don't take my shirt off. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are some of those things? You soaking it up as sponges, but what are those? Yeah, what are those takeaways?
You learn a lot of different things from each camp. I mean, from basic stuff like, you know, how to put together a full hour and a half show, you know,
like how do you go from song to song,
like transitions between songs, like how do you start the show? You're like watching all these things, and you get to watch them every night, and you kind of pick up what they repeat, what they don't. There's a lot of like things you wouldn't. But then the other part of it is, how does the crew operate? What's the hierarchy of that? How do they, you know, there's all these like more professionalism things that you pick up and learn. Because then you get into these next steps, and you're like, well, how you would normally be like, well, how do you know, what does a tour manager do? All these things. Do you need this? Do you need this person? Do you need this person? You start learning it just by seeing how they operate. So even from that perspective, but the other part of it as well is we went on all those tours, you know, for 5 months, 6 months. I don't know. And,
it was a long time.
I mean, we turned around and rewrote half the album.
Damn.
After that,
because we scrapped like 6 or 7 songs and wrote 6 more.
Because what you just felt that you learned more in different ways to different ways to enhance what you already thought was pretty awesome.
And also it's like for a lot of the support stuff we were doing at the end of last year, our sets were, you know, relatively short, or definitely shorter than our headlining show. And so when we were talking about playing longer sets, and we're talking about which of the other songs to put in, we were like, I don't know about that one.
Yeah.
And so at a certain point, we're like, well, if we don't really want to play these, maybe we should just write some new ones. But a lot of that came after, you know, touring with Laney, and even Banners and like the Cult, who we played with in Canada. We're just like, we can do better than this. So we did. Yeah, or we think we did. We'll see. We'll see.
Humble brag.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you know you did. You know you did. So gosh, is that the evolution of a band, is to just not to be like anyone else, but to challenge yourself to be a better version of yourself? I don't think that a lot of newer artists, or even some veteran artists, think that way, where it's like you're not in competition with anyone else. It's
Right.
more or less trying to be a better version of who you are.
Yeah, I always say if we're not getting better, then we're doing something wrong,
Yeah.
And I think it's just you're just consistently working toward it. I'm always a really big proponent for us of doing everything ourselves, not doing like having a bunch of songwriters come in or something, or doing like these things these labels do, these songwriting camps where they bring and that everything gets done for you. You don't learn anything that way, and there's not longevity to it because you don't know how to do it. Someone did it for you. It's like having someone do your homework or whatever. So I think we just grind it out with writing and recording and producing and learning things, and so we keep just building up those skills, and so hopefully we refine them and things get better and we learn how to do more so what we want.
Let's hang out there in the sense of creating the music. How does it happen? Does it start with the melody? Are we voice notes on the phone? Are we, you know what I mean? The drum kick is what it is. Like, where do the lyrics come from? How does that happen for a band with 5 guys in it?
It happens a lot of different ways. I think the most common thing that we've tried to do with this album, or at least the intent, was, vocal and a guitar, or vocal and a piano, or whatever, like just 2 elements. And if it wasn't good with those 2 elements, we didn't move forward.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore you don't like fall in love with the track or something, which still happens, but you try not to. Like, you're like, oh, the track's really cool, but there's no melody and there's no song, and it's like, well, what do we have here? So that forced us to be like, all right, if the song can stand up on its own, then we're stepping into it. And everyone just has to do their thing, and it's not like you have to make up some kind of ground. You just like do your thing. Everything works. The band, everything falls into place.
Yeah,
and it's a lot easier, and that's how we end up now in recording sessions that are not that long.
Well, let's go a little bit behind some of these songs, some of these massive records that are just, they're turning out numbers that, I'm seeing TikToks and which is weird, man. Like, you know what I mean? TikTok and social media, but behind the track. Let's go behind the track with Miley. How did that one come about?
Yeah.
Alex was like, yo.
Yeah.
I felt a little bit close to how I feel now. We were.
So it was like April of 2020.
Yeah, we got an Airbnb because we're like, well, what else are we gonna do? We might as well just like get an Airbnb house and like write for like a month or 2 months or whatever. And just all stay in the house kind of thing. And so we were doing that.
It sounded like a better idea than it was at the time, I will say.
Yeah, Miley is the only song I think that survived this sessions. But we had from the Chateau Marmont, which is where we used to hang out sometimes, they have these frosés.
Okay.
And we learned the secret
Fan of a solid frosé.
Yeah, we learned the secret to how to make a good frosé. It's cranberry juice. And
there we go.
You put a little in there, and that's the little
Chateau's
tang.
gonna be calm.
Yeah,
They can fuck off.
They make it.
Yeah, they're fine. So we were making a lot of those, and I just blacked out, just hardcore. And when we woke up the next day, Caleb was like, "Did something kind of cool yesterday," and I was like,
"Did we?"
Okay, and then he played it for me, and it was all of Miley.
All right, sick. Damn.
Well, yeah, we
blackout session.
Caleb and I sat down that morning, and it's like 10 a.m. and both Caleb and I are hungover also, and we're just like, all right, we got to get started. So we pulled out the synth, and like Caleb's at the computer, and I'm on the synth, and we're just kind of messing around, kind of land on the like synth line, and Caleb and I both kind of just look at each other like, can we go with that? We're like, yeah. So then
that's some eyes.
Yeah. Not the most intentional story, but that's how it happened.
That's how it happened. All right. Typical Ways, another one that's just turning out and has garnered a lot of ears and eyes to who you guys are. Take us behind the track on that.
God, it was so long ago. We were still living in Austin almost, but yeah, he brought over like a guitar, all the music essentially. And I was like, oh, all right.
Yeah, look, guys, what I have. Yeah. Let's go.
Look what I did. I said, good job.
Yeah, he patted me on the head, gave me a kiss on the cheek, and that was it.
And all right. No, but it was just, I had the verse right then and there. Had nothing for the chorus because I was like, I don't know what I'm going to sing over this because it's, And then I just woke up the next morning and I had it and I put it in a voice note, and that was kind of it. I just woke up singing the chorus for it, and then we finished it, and then we sat on it for like
a while,
like 3 or 4 years. But
damn.
That's by far the oldest of the songs on this album. That's the oldest one.
Yeah.
So
we like psyched ourselves out.
And the timing for a song like that, to not rush it or to not, create it or see it to fruition because somebody's telling you that it needs to be that way, or you guys felt like it was, it needed to be out there for the world. That's got to be like a pretty dope feeling to know that just organically, I mean, it's just like, yo, this feels right for us now, even though it is something that's been on a hard drive for a couple years.
If we honestly, the rest of the guys were kind of unsure about that song for a while. So I think in a different universe, that song never came out. But when we
to take away credit from myself, I also was unsure of it.
Yeah, but then when we started playing shows and like opening for these bands, we would play that one, and it was like unanimously the biggest crowd response.
Yeah,
or
it was
every show had the biggest crowd response, and so I think that everyone else was like, okay, let's give this one a shot, and then it's been one of our best performing songs.
Yeah, it wasn't even going to be on the album, and we were just like, all right, let's just try it at the Cult and just see if it works there. And it was in the middle of the set, and it worked.
Yeah, it did.
Got the biggest applause of anything, and then we're like, well, but that's the Cult fans.
Yeah.
And then we're like, all right, we'll do it for Laney. Same thing. All right, and then so night after night, even in the middle of the set, it got the biggest whatever. So the applause. So we were like, oh, all right.
Yeah. Lastly,
market research.
I want to talk about this last and take us a little bit behind the track with Bittersweet, because for me it feels like something that I could be, as it's on repeat for the past couple of weeks now.
Oh, thank you.
It's like a John Hughes film, dude. Like it just feels like, yo, this feels something it's a little bit nostalgic, but it's a big sound. Like, yeah, Bittersweet. And I mean the lyrics are very poignant to the way that a lot of us have felt, a little tug and, the pull and give and take or whatever relation. That's how I relate to the record. But yeah, behind the track with that one, what and how did that come to be?
It's just the kind of song I've tried to make for like 10 years, and then it finally stuck. I mean, there's, I feel like there's, in the graveyard of songs, there's a couple versions of something in that realm of sound. And so we finally pulled one off, and I was like, yes. So, so I'm really happy about that. But it's just kind of a band record. It was just kind of, we had a chorus and a verse, and we're like, oh, cool. And then
let's roll.
The band just did the band, and then, oh, cool. And then, and then it was done,
Holy shit, dude. Wow. I mean, just that organic, just that natural, amongst 5 people. I mean, the synergy and the bigger picture of it all for it to come together is something that it always blows my mind when I just think about the creation of music. And especially when you're dealing with so many different people, so many different sounds, sitting on something, or it's been something that you wanted to do for a while, but it just felt, like I said earlier, felt right for it to be this point in time for that sound to resonate with fans, or to even be something that you felt confident enough to put out. I mean, shout out and congrats on chasing that.
Yeah.
I want to switch up a little bit, and I want to ask you guys a rather weird question here. What I wrote down here is it has a little bit to do with time travel and where you. Ooh. Yeah, but I mean, not in the sense of like, I'm saying Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Okay. Okay. That's a different show.
That's a different pod, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But no, I just thought it would be kind of a weird question, a fun question to ask. If you could time travel and have any band open for you guys, any genre. You know what I'm saying? Who would be that? Who would be that band? You guys have spent time, opening for some amazing artists, but you also have your own headlining situation. Time travel. Let's go back. Any genre, any time, any band to open for you guys. Who would you want to set the tone for?
Or us open for them?
Yeah. Dang, that's tough. I mean, honestly, what's coming to mind right away is Black Sabbath.
Damn.
Wait, and I'm not even like the biggest Black Sabbath fan. It's just Ozzy's voice is just, it's insane.
Yeah.
And recently I've heard all of these like AI covers of Ozzy's. Yeah. Like, put Ozzy's voice on any song, it sounds better than whoever's singing it. Like, I know that sounds crazy, but his voice.
What city is Black Sabbath opening up for you guys in? What city?
Detroit.
Yeah, Detroit. Manchester. Or where
It
are
would
they?
go
Where
off.
are they from?
Yeah, UK, Manchester. I
Birmingham
believe.
or
Yeah,
something?
it's
Yeah.
in the UK.
Yeah.
All right, but are you sure you want them to open for you guys?
No,
Yeah,
no, that'd be a tough act to follow
Yeah,
for
that'd be
sure.
a tough
We'll
act to-
open for Black Sabbath.
okay. All right. You have anybody in mind? Time travel. You can go in any
Well,
genre.
Yeah, my only answer right now is Oasis, but that's not really time travel anymore.
Facts.
Yeah. I went to the first night in Cardiff, and I was just like, Jesus.
Yeah.
Like,
Did you see it?
No, I
Yeah.
haven't. I mean, I couldn't get a ticket. Like,
Yeah.
are you? Yeah, you kidding me? I had some friends. I mean, that had the chance to go and see Oasis. I think in LA recently. It was the start. Yeah.
Yeah,
it-
I went and saw him at the Rose Bowl.
So let me ask you, fans of music, obviously, what was it about the Oasis show that you just really were just like, yo, this is sick to watch?
just a good show and a good band and good
Yeah.
songs, and at least in the UK for what I was at, I don't know what LA was like, but
Yeah.
the crowd was just very much there for that. They weren't there for like to take an Instagram video and whatever, it was just everyone was very present.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think there's something to be said about, a group of people getting together to be present.
Yeah.
That kind of, and part of the conversation we're just having here kind of leads me to something else that I wrote down here on my sketchy ass note cards, by the way. Shout out to the we're bootleg around here. It's DIY at
Yeah,
Maxwell's house.
we
fam.
love it.
I got some paper with some tape. But confession time. I mean, kind of Black Sabbath, Oasis. I think that may be expected, but most unexpected artists that would be on your playlist right now. If somebody was to open up your playlist and swipe a couple, is there? I mean, you already kind of said like TLC and Destiny's Child back in the day.
I'd have to look.
So mine would be there's a Chinese rapper named Sky Is Your God, Lan Lao.
Okay, I need to put me on.
You
something.
might recognize some of the snippets from like TikTok or Instagram Reels or something
Okay.
like that. But Lan Lao.
Long Lao.
Oh, I'm remembering now. Mine is the Elvis gospel album.
Oh,
That's
Yeah.
solid. How did you stumble upon that, and how did that fall into the algorithm?
I forget where it came from, but I was listening to the How Great Thou Art, and that's kind of like I really like that song a lot. And then I was like digging through the album, just listening to it, and it's kind of just keying in a little bit.
Yeah.
Getting some good vibes and just like it. It's very, very cool.
Damn. Yeah. Unexpected. I did not think I was going to hear.
Those are two very far
Very
places.
far apart on the spectrum. Very far
Love
apart on
it.
the spectrum. As we kind of start to, wind down on the conversation. First off, thank you guys for being here.
Oh, thanks for having us.
This is
Yeah,
like
this is
super
great.
dope. Getting to know a little bit more about who you are, as I've become a pretty new fan of the music. It hits my heart to know, and I really love getting a chance to talk to artists and just to knowing where the passion comes from and seeing how it translates and it resonates into the music. So I want to say, thanks there. And just a little bit more along the lines of getting to know you guys. We do something here in Maxwell's house that we call house rules.
All right.
See what I'm saying? Just setting down some house rules, some non-negotiables. Whether it's at the house, on stage, backstage, the tour bus. What are some of those house rules that you guys have that if someone breaks them, yo, dude, that's an immediate 3 strikes, you're out?
Oof.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Like within the band, or
Yeah, within the band. For instance, is there no pooping on the tour bus? That seems like it's a generic, but
Well, definitely no.
Yeah.
Definitely no.
definitely no.
try and stop me.
Yeah.
It's happening. So what would be a house rule amongst the guys?
Oh man, that's a good question.
We're pretty rough on each other. I'm trying to think of like an actual thing though.
The rules are it's a moving target with the rules.
Whatever-
Okay.
And,
whatever
and
Dave
it's
says it is.
so everyone is always doing something wrong, and so someone's always getting roasted. There's just like a moving target of
Really?
rules.
Who is it
Yeah.
this month? Like who's the roaster and
Well,
who's the
it
roastee?
was an inadvertent target. I guess. It was,
Somebody caught some strays.
Somebody caught some strays at a
It's not
dinner.
using
We had a
names,
friend of
but-
a friend came to a dinner, and it's a tough group to get into.
I heard about it and I was just like, oof.
Who's we get? I feel like Josh gets it.
Yeah, Josh.
Josh gets it pretty heavy.
Yeah.
All right.
David, the drummer, he dishes it pretty well.
Okay.
So I always try to get a few in on him too, just so we keep things level.
I want to go back to that brotherhood, and I want to go back to like what does it mean that you guys get to navigate this space with people who you trust most, with folks, and you can look to your left and your right when you're on stage, and you're just like, yeah, I'm here with someone who I genuinely love. What does it mean to be on this journey with your brothers?
I mean, I think we're still like experiencing it almost for the first time. I mean, our first sold out show was 2 weeks ago. So, I mean, it's all very new. And, it was even, we're doing something yesterday and the guy was like, well, I wouldn't describe you guys as a new band, or does it, and Dave's like, we're new to everybody. I don't, who cares, who cares what we've been doing when they did before they knew us, it is still kind of pretty new. So I think we're like still processing it now,
Yeah.
I'm just now processing the touring we did a year ago. So I don't really know the answer, to be honest. I'm still kind of processing it, but it's nice.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, it's rewarding for sure. Yeah. And it's like, we're kind of in that reward season now. We just went through the like, damn, like what are we doing? Like we're at this for a year. Like, you go through periods where it's like there's highs and lows, and it's like family. So you go through your highs and lows with your family, and it only works if you're, with, for us, it only works if it's the right people. And it's like, we're all very different personalities, like different worldviews, like, you name it, but we can all
different music.
We all trust each other. We have that trust in each other. And so when you go through those hard times and where, you're butting heads trying to make music for a year, and then you go and you're finally able to play these new songs for people, and you see that people are liking them when they've never heard it, that's like, you can look around and be like, all right, that's,
I'm
that
glad
feels
it's
good.
with you.
Glad it's for sure.
I'm
for
glad
sure.
it's with you.
Yeah.
We got to get you to sign Lisa Rose. Do we have the guest book? No, we don't. Like, she's it's outside.
It's
you
here.
Liar.
We have
it. Liar. It's somewhere around here. Before we get the guest book, the door is heavy. You got to turn the knob. Locked in.
No, you're gonna
I'm telling you, it's very like sketch around here at some times, at some points. No, there we go. We're gonna grab the guest book, and what I wanted to do as we get you guys to sign the guest book is think about like a quote, if you don't mind, and jot it in there, and just like something that I don't know, that it hits your heart, it resonates, it means something not only for you but maybe the band. Thank you, Lisa Rose.
Thank you.
Yeah, you can do that one if you want.
Yeah, well, who has the better handwriting, first off?
I don't know. Mine's pretty.
Where is the first page in there? Or?
I'm too impatient to have good handwriting.
Hey. Yeah, you guys are. There it is. So go to page 2.
I write like this. That's right. Yeah.
It's like the Kurt. The Kurt signature is just Kurt.
Yeah, Kurt.
Is the handwriting solid?
Let's see.
Let's see.
Say yes either way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It is. It is.
See.
We can actually read it.
Wow.
Yeah, we can actually read it.
That's very generous. Thank you, Maxwell.
No. We're gonna put a wrap on the conversation here. We're about to close the doors to Maxwell's house. What is the rest of, let's say, the next year have in store? Like, what are the fans most excited? What are you excited to share with the fans?
We got 10 nights at MSG in 2026.
Let's manifest that shit, damn it. You know what I mean? Why not?
Yeah, no, I mean, with the album, top of the year, more touring in the U.S., in UK, Europe, Asia, Australia. We'll probably do everywhere this next year.
Damn.
And world domination or whatever. So we're doing our own shows, and I think now we're realizing people want to show up and they want to buy tickets. We're like, great, cool, and so we're still just like, all right, let's keep going. And didn't see that coming, and we're finding out, well, we probably could have done a venue twice the size, but great, at least because we don't know anything, we're learning. So for us, it's the album, it's more shows, it's continuing to just get out there, and I think for us the live show is we know is better than any recorded anything we could ever do anyway. So we know that that's like a thing we need to do more of and keep. It's almost like a whole other. It sounds very like businessy. It's almost like a whole other product. The show, and so in a way we're kind of starting something new. And trying to show people like this is a very different, expanded thing.
It's another chapter to the book that you guys are still writing, but the fans are willing and frothing at the bit to read. So I mean, thanks for stepping into your greatness. Thank you, Culture Wars. Round of applause.
All right, thank y'all.
Maxwell's House. Appreciate you guys tapped in. Comment below or whatever they say at the end of podcast episodes. Shout out Audio Technica. Let's close the doors to Maxwell's House. Peace out, guys. Later, skaters. Yeah.
Later.